Stars are never sleeping. Stars are never sleeping. We live closer to the earth.
You sing it, Clark.
Never to the heavens.
Yeah, buddy.
The stars are never far away. Stars
Karaoke
around
night is
the
the
night.
fucking best. Come on.
They watch us from behind the shades. Bridget, Jackie.
Why are you laughing, Clark? I'm trying to listen to the song.
Oh, I was just having too much fun, you guys. I thought, I kind of messed up a lyric, and I thought about how I could have made a parody about our time in the Big Brother house, and then I got all off the karaoke screen, and I don't know.
Well, I think your turn's up in karaoke.
Yeah, I kind of forfeit. I know, I kind of forfeit.
You want a shot of Jaeger?
Oh yeah, give me a shot of that bushwhacker.
It's not Bushwhacker, it's Jaeger
Oh,
Monster.
god damn it. Magic Man, I thought he was going to be making all of the drinks. Did he not make enough for the whole week?
We ran out. We've ran him dry. He said he was heading back to, normal reality to grab some more. He said, I no clue when he'll be back. He's truly mysterious.
He is very mysterious, but it's been nice hanging out with him a little bit.
Yeah, so last night I had to make a run up to fucking Brandonopolis. That's the only place that seems to sell booze around here.
Damn straight, we got booze for days. We got 2 for 10s. We got 5 for $9.99s. Anything you want, we got. But we're actually kind of low on stock right now because we've been drinking a lot of it. But we're going to resupply soon. That's how we make our money.
My favorite thing from Brandonopolis is the road pop, the vodka and root beer.
Oh, you just mean a Coke?
Yeah, you pour it all,
We call our drinks Coke in Brandonopolis. We're that kind of place.
you pour all of the soda in, and, you mix it together, and it makes the vodka smell like root beer, but that way if the cop pulls you over, you just say it's my road pop.
Oh, I just grew up with that. I didn't know there was a name for it.
Just drink and drive.
Yeah, I mean, who hasn't drank and drive in their life? But, not everybody, crashes, almost kills a person when they do it. Most people just get home okay.
Exactly. You kind of swerve over the line. Maybe you hit the curb a little bit or run over somebody's dog, but never a fire. Never.
Maybe you don't even remember going home. You just wake up in bed the next day and you think, I got home somehow.
And your asshole is 3 times the size?
Sister Marvel, you weren't supposed to tell him that. We said we'd go to Dr. Xavier and get looked at on our own.
We put something too big on some Brandon's ass. We were celebrating our engagement. And Big Red has big dildos.
I can't keep it in anymore. I need help. It hurts.
Oh my god, Brandon, your asshole is outside of your asshole.
It's prolapsing.
This happened to me earlier in the season, and Dr. Xavier, he did a really good job at putting it back inside me. Too bad he left early.
Let me look in my back real quick, Brandon. I may have some of that, God, the name is escaping me. Hemorrhoid cream, the fucking... Where is it? Why is my dildo in here, Clark? I told you we weren't going to do anything like that at the Big Brother party.
So we can do it in the Big Brother house, but not at the party?
It's a party. We're not supposed to be having sex. We're supposed to be socializing.
We're here for 3 weeks watching all the live feeds. You telling me you're not going to want to have sex at all in 3 weeks? Come on, Beverly.
I want to have sex, but with your penis, not your simulated threesome penis where you make me pretend that Tristan's there. Sorry, Tristan.
Clark, you do that?
Well, I'm just not, cause she wants to have a third in the partnership, I have sex with Sister No ever since the Big Brother house, and she asked if she could have sex with you, but I'm not comfortable with it because of the time you were in a throuple with her and Sister Carissa.
You're not comfortable with it because I've already been with her?
Exactly, you had a romantic interest. You moved in when I wasn't here. What's to say you won't do it again?
Clark, this is what you gotta realize about me, is I may seem like I have a romantic interest in women. I don't. No, it's purely sexual and I just pretend I do. That's the sex gremlin way. And from what I hear, it's kind of the human way too.
Even with Shelly Ann?
I mean, she's a little different because, she was kind of my partner. But anybody I've had after her, that's just purely just to get my rocks off.
You're just waiting for her to come back. I understand.
Absolutely. You know, if she came back, I'd ask her to marry me, maybe because she's a cheater. That's why I don't necessarily want to get attached to anybody, because I feel like they all cheat on me. I want to cheat. I can't be in a relationship like that. I can't be tied down.
He broke up with me shortly after Big Brother ended. I thought we were meant to be, but no.
Sister Carissa, this was nothing, and you're not. No, this wasn't anything. You're a fucking android. If anything, it was like kind of like an inflatable blow-up doll. Except you're not very inflated. You're very deflated.
You used to spray my piss like champagne. Tristan, don't pretend like you didn't like it or that you don't care for me now. We had a
I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't like it. No, I'm not gonna pretend like that, because right now, Sister Carissa, while I'm looking at you, you could piss on me right now, and then I jerk off and just come all over you right in the middle of all this.
Get my catheter tube.
No, but I'm not gonna do it because I'm not romantically interested in you, and if I do it, you're gonna want to be with me.
God damn it.
I'm sick and tired of blowing up your damn pussy just to have sex with you. I gotta blow for like 2 hours just to even get you, and then you deflate by the time I'm in, pretty much. I gotta keep you airtight.
Sounds like me! Hard to get this thing hard!
It's been very, 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 very hard. You know, when I first met Big Red, his dick would get hard instantly. I mean, you guys know, most of you have been through it. But now it's just like, kind of like, look, I'm rubbing it. Nothing's happening. I used to just even look at it. Look at him.
Nothing.
And he would start getting hard, and he'd say, no, I don't know what's happening to him.
I keep telling her it's all these goddamn shots and all this fucking medicine and the asshole that doctor grew on me, but no, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm retarded. I don't know nothing.
Yeah, we tend to keep the conspiracy theories out of here, Big Red, but you do look kind of impotent.
I feel it.
You don't really seem as angry. You know, it's kind of weird not having you as angry as you usually are. Usually just screaming and wanting to rape anything you see in sight, but look, you're kind of a shower, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I do grow 36 times my size, but I would say a 6 foot tall penis is definitely a shower.
Yeah, I mean, you're not too much taller than Clark.
Yeah, just a couple inches. Hey, buddy.
Hey, we could measure ourselves on door frames and see who's the bigger one.
It's pretty obvious it's Big Red.
It's definitely Big Red.
He's got you by the head of a penis.
Don't even kid yourself, no, but, I mean, at least you're not, fucking like 3-4 foot like I am. I've never measured myself. Hard to tell how big this sex gremlin is.
Yeah, I don't even know, 3 feet? Probably 3 feet.
I think probably 3 feet. That's how I like to imagine myself.
How tall is Mike Wazowski?
I don't know, but that's probably about as tall as I am. You know what? Let me look at my phone real quick. Mike Wazowski. Height is already a thing that somebody looked up for him. Did you know that Olaf is 5'4"?
Olaf is almost... he had a terrible movie. I won't even acknowledge him. Olaf's Frozen Adventure? No.
No. I've never even seen Frozen, but I refuse to watch it on principle.
Not good. Idina Menzel sold her soul. Don't even know how I know about her. Tristan, did you tell me about Idina Menzel? You like theater.
Yeah, of course I told you about Idina Menzel. She's the goddess, lord, and savior of everything.
You said she is a blazing supernova.
She's a blazing... Yeah, exactly. And in fact, Kelly O'Hara was robbed at the Tonys in 2014. Never forget. Anybody at this party, don't forget. Kelly O'Hara was robbed at the Tonys 2014.
Oh my God, Tristan, shut the fuck up. They've never given it to someone whose show was closed, except Angela Lansbury.
Sister Marvel, I didn't know you were a fan of theater.
Oh, I love theater. I was in the high school production of Guys and Dolls as one of the dice that they roll in the gambling scene.
How is it Marvel? Did you get so many options and things? I'm a goat and they don't give me anything.
Well, basically, goats are only bred for milk and cheese and meat, so yeah.
Sister Marvel, I got a question.
What?
Nothing in your history makes sense because you were Marvel. You were brought to life by Sister No, weren't you? How'd you go to high school?
Well, it's kind of like, I think what happens when you get brought to life by Sister No is that you just instantly get all your memories on the day you're created. talking?
So they're not real. They're just things that you remember, but they don't necessarily happen.
Well, they feel real to me.
Well, I feel like I'm not a goat, but I'm still a goat.
I'm afraid that you are a goat. You're a special goat. Excuse me, I have too many round pop.
Ooh, let me get in there and smell it. Mmm.
Oh my God! God, I will
these
never.
new.
Can't wait until they get back in Brandonopolis.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that we invited them. I mean, I guess they're welcome. Brandon did make it kind of far, but they're fucking disgusting, and I hate hanging out with them.
They're in the honeymoon phase, babe, you know, and when they're kids, you're so horny, it'll die down. They'll get out of it. And in the meantime, you know, they'll just be in their own little retarded city.
Never died down for me.
Well, you're a sex gremlin.
Yeah.
You've been having sex with all of the sex gremlin servants around the island since we've been here. I mean, you'd have sex with anything.
I mean, I wouldn't say anything. I've never had sex with a rock.
Well, if you found a rock that had the right hole, maybe you would.
I don't know what kind of rock would have the right hole. I mean, if I was gonna fuck any rock, it'd be a geode.
Oh yeah, one
a
of
nice
those
little
beautiful
crystal
ones.
inside.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, like the amethyst crystals, like might penetrate my dick and might feel good. Kind of like the B&B Pain Olympics, except with the geode.
You could probably find a way to there's enough space that you get one big enough, you put a whole bunch of silicone inside it to make it safe, and then you still fuck the rock, but you just get the silicone mold around the rock.
So it's like, not like a rock pocket pussy?
Yeah, exactly. Beverly, write that down.
Never thought about that. I'll be right back.
No, Tristan, I'm going to patent it.
Everybody shut the fuck up!
Oh my God.
The Power of Vito's about to come on. Y'all are fucking missing it. I'm trying to hear the TV.
You said it was a 10-minute talking break while Brandon was in the diary room.
And it's been 11 minutes. Come over. They just finished up catching us up.
Sorry, okay, damn.
So I just need to see me and how well I do.
Well, you know you win the game.
That's why I'm watching it, because I want to see me winning. I can see why you don't want to watch yourself losing.
Well, I know, it's sad to watch yourself get to third place and then not win again. Second time it's happened in my life. Ridiculous. But, it's fun to rewatch a season knowing who the winner is, because then you kind of get these, glimpses throughout. You're like, oh, well, that's something that they did that made them win.
Exactly. And you all are fucking missing it. You all are talking through the dialogue. I can't hear it. The Power of Vito's fucking over already. Are you fucking kidding me? Who got it?
I don't know. We'll have to wait for Julie to tell us when it comes back from commercial.
Oh my God, this is fucking ridiculous. What was that?
The loud bang.
What the fuck? Don't dragged in. Clark?
DG? Oh my God.
What's up, Clark?
Hey, DG.
Look me in the eye. Look me in my crippled little eye.
I'm looking you in the eye, DG. What the? You finally made it. Whoa, DG! Ow!
Fucking little bitch. That's for fucking spitting on me.
Oh! DG, I didn't spit on you. That was Big Red and some other people. I think Mirapose? No, I don't even know Mirapose.
You let him spit on me, Clark, and you're the fucking ringleader of this operation. I know you're fucking been out to get me since you fucking found me at that goat nursery, you bitch.
DG, you mean our chance meeting? That was a miracle?
Chance fucking meeting. Yeah, fucking right, dude. You knew I was there the whole fucking time.
DG, I was just there for orientation. I didn't know anything about you, we snuck out. You remember?
You mean to tell me that you talked Bertram in yourself to taking over an island of his that he's had for fucking years?
Well, DG, we did it with a war. You took a bullet, remember? And
I took a bullet for some bullshit, dude. I said I'd never join the fucking war, and look who the first one was who signed up for it. It was fucking me.
I know, you're a patriot.
I believed in a cause, and you let me get shot, and then you let me become a hero just so you could tear me down, dude, and tell the whole world that I'm a fucking alcoholic? Are you serious, dude? And then spit on me?
Oh my god, ew!
COVID-19 spit too, dude.
What?
Brought that shit from another fucking country or something. Actually, never mind. It's not COVID-19. It's monkeypox. More trendy.
I'm going to be sick!
Yeah, you're gonna be sick for 2 to 4 weeks and get lesions all over your face. You can't even notice mine because I'm fucked.
Is that what all of the holes with pus are?
Mirapuz, you said nobody could see the holes with my fucked face.
Well, I mean, I don't see anything. I just see my handsome baby.
DG, I hate to see this, all of this come to an end, but you have no right to come in here and speak to my husband that way. Well, come to think of it, no, you're not my husband.
Well, I mean, I might as well be.
Talk to him however you want.
Beverly, no, you're not.
That's
going-
fucking right, dude. You're doing the same fucking thing to Beverly. You're doing the same thing to everybody here. You fucking get them on your side. You come up with some bullshit plan, or somebody else does. Fucking Brandon or something. Brandon's the next fucking DG. I already fucking see it.
Whoa. Brandon's gonna win the next Survivor?
I didn't win Survivor, Sister Marble. Oh, wait.
DG, yes you did. Do you not remember winning Survivor?
It was life-changing, Gary. You don't even remember?
I don't remember anything, dude. I don't remember anything except fucking heartbreak and fucking backstabbing friends, dude.
Is that really what you think of us, DG? I mean, it's not our fault you didn't get cast on the show. I mean, we tried to, invite you.
Is Goat Island the fucking #1 exporter of fucking root beer?
Not anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, under your fucking control.
Well, I mean,
I
we
was
made
trying
a
to get a
partnership.
point, though. I mean,
We made a partnership with Big Red. What's the deal? Do you want us to be at war, DG? I thought you were against war.
no, don't you. Mirapose, come in. You told me what to say if he said that.
Shh, it's okay.
He told me what to say.
Shh, honey,
He said no lesions.
honey. Is there any alcohol here that he could have?
No, nobody give him alcohol. No, he does not. I can smell him from here. I'm sick of hearing them, to be honest. Get him out of here.
No. Excuse me, everybody. I am his caretaker, and I really think that if he had a little bit of alcohol in him, he would be doing a lot better than he is right now.
Sorry, Mirapose, don't know when you became DG's caretaker, but I don't know if you know this or not, but he, he's an alcoholic. He drove drunk. He has DUI. He has the yellow license plate.
Oh, I mean, yes, I'm aware of what the fake news media says about him, but
Who you calling fake news media, bitch?
oh, there's the tramp herself. How's that?
I come late to a party and you're over here talking about me.
Well, if what you spread is absolute bullshit, you fucking turkey neck goat, then maybe you wouldn't realize
Who are you calling a turkey-headed goat?
I'm calling you that, you washed up hack.
You're a nasty woman, and if I didn't have an opportunity to uphold, I would do something bad right now, but instead I'm gonna go report on it. Breaking news! Nancy, get out of here. Get out of here while she does her report.
Nice seeing you, Clinton News Network.
That bitch.
Mirapose, could I ask you just how you got involved with all of this? Because, there's not very many humans on Goat Island.
Same way you fucking got involved with it, dude. She was running with the wrong crew, ended up in the wrong fucking place, dude. Now she's with a goat fucking lesion-covered drunk alcoholic.
We got a tip on some hot artifacts in an island called Goat India, and we were smuggling them when two of my cohorts were killed. I barely got away with the skin of my teeth, and with every dollar I earned, I slowly became the person who took over the lease of the skyscraper downtown, where you all had your party.
You what?
Yeah.
Oh?
You mean wait. You mean M. Pose, the person who I signed the lease with just last week? That was you?
Yeah, I mean, it's not even a fake name. M. Pose. First name Mira, last name Pose.
So, why do you think that there's a Clinton News Network here? We don't really have that here. We have pretty straightforward news. Nancy Sachs is well trusted.
I think it's obvious what's going on here. You are taking advantage, and always have from day one, of Derry and his incredible genius. Why is he not a 50-50 partner at Capital Cheese when it was partly his idea that led to the creation? And why, after winning $1 million, was it Derry's ATV fleet that had to be the security instead of retiring? And why did he end up being set up for a car crash after a ceremony? Why?
I'm not a fucking drunk, guys, dude. And you guys want to know something cool about Mariposa, though? I thank you for all that, dude. That was so sexy, you standing up for me. No, Clark never would do that, but makes her even cooler is she was one of the executive producers for that movie, Nicolas Cage. The one with Nicolas Cage and the painting.
National Treasure, baby. National Treasure 2.
She worked with Nick Cage, though, so she knows what she's talking about.
I don't know what the fuck that has to do with what she just said, but I'm gonna respond to her and not you. DG.
That would be fine. Like I said, I'm his proxy.
Well, I just want to... actually, I think I will respond to DG. National Treasure 2 should have never been made. That was not something to be proud of.
The first one was amazing, so why wouldn't the second one be good? It's not my fault that the writer just absolutely shat the bed. It was a mistake, chicas.
Who are you?
A Mirapose.
Who in the hell is this bitch over here? I'm supposed to be the strong, mean female lead. What do you think you're doing?
Oh, I'm just, righting a wrong, standing up for Terry when no one else will. Isn't that all right?
Righting a wrong? You're more like riding his fucking dong. DG's not... He's a good guy, but he's not perfect, and he just has to learn from his mistakes!
Stutterer.
I don't think anybody told this bitch not to fuck with me, Big Red. Nobody told this bitch not to fuck with me.
I don't think anybody told her.
What's stopping me right now from using my magic on her right now?
No, let's all keep it calm, now.
I said I wasn't gonna practice while we were in the house, but I might just have to mage blast your ass, bitch.
You're weak.
Clark, let me at it. Can you at least just arrest her?
No.
Can you arrest her? She's verbally assaulting me. Ow! She's hitting me.
Now, hang on. Let's just hear them out. Now, DG is clearly in a state. He's emotional.
I'm not emotional, dude. I'm just fucking empty.
You're empty?
I don't feel anything, especially with all the fucking meds I'm on. I don't feel a goddamn thing, but this woman right here, she's the only person who's ever made me feel like a thing. Real bros, get their dude's puss. You cockblock Samantha, you bitch.
I did not cockblock Samantha.
She never came back around because of you, dude.
DG, it had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with you, and she just disappeared anyway.
Always me and never you, bro.
Oh my god. I need a fucking drink.
Yeah, give me one too.
No! You're not allowed to have any more to drink, DG, now. It's ridiculous. And besides, there's nothing here to drink anyway.
Oh, hey everybody, I'm back. Sorry it took a while, haven't really quite figured out how to, transport myself with the stuff, and I got a lot of stuff. Here's a jug of tequila sunrise. Yep, Tristan, it's a tequila sunrise. Yeah, and then I got another thing of the Bushwhacker. Yep, got that in the Gatorade thing that you can just, what they dunk.
Magic.
Huh?
Read the room.
Don't tell me there's an alcoholic right behind me.
Look behind you.
Oh, dude.
Pissing my pants.
Oh my god, dude,
DG, you're not wearing any pants. You're pissing on the floor.
Dude, he's getting his piss in the tequila sunrise, Tristan.
Get him off the DG. No. Give me a newspaper, Clark.
Here.
DG. No.
Oh no. DG, no. He's gonna take a drink. He's going to drink the bushwhacker.
DG, no! No, DG, no!
Yes, DG. Drink it. When you broke the glass, it got on me.
Oh, dude, baby, cut yourself and fucking let me watch you bleed so I can suck it out of you and then put it right back into your mouth and re-enter your bloodstream.
Yes, Daddy, I'm cutting my boobies.
Oh my god! DG!
This is the hottest thing I have ever seen. Thank you, Derry.
Oh my god, I didn't think I'd be seeing something this fucking hot right now.
Those sex gremlins really can jump on a moment's
They
notice.
change like that. They're horny or they're not.
Fucking spit your blood back out at me, dude.
I'm gonna peg your ass, Derry. I'm gonna peg your ass.
Oh my god, she made DG start liking pegging.
Okay, alright now, everybody. I think I've seen enough here. Now, this is my fucking island, my palace, me and my girl. I think we're done here. You know, I think this is enough. Alright?
Yeah, we can't have all... This place was a horny sex haven, but we can't have all that now. That was ridiculous. Y'all need to grow up.
Everybody leave, alright?
Get out now!
Wait, but sister, no, my bag is up in my room. Could I get my bag?
Sister, no, can I please just come first, please?
No, everybody get out, especially Derry.
Come on, guys, get out. They're serious about it. Can we come back tomorrow and get our stuff?
You can come back as soon as that fucking freak gets out of here.
Well, she's carrying them out now. Can we just stay?
No, you have to pretend like you're leaving. I don't want to look like a dick. Go outside, pretend like you're leaving, come around back.
I'm already walking out. I'm gonna go get me some root beer. Sister Marble?
Come on, baby. When we say we're getting root beer, that means we're going to go have sex.
No, please. No, I'm thirsty. I actually want some root beer, Sister Marble.
Well, I'm thirsty too, Brandon. But for a different reason, you know how the kids say thirsty.
Everybody is so damn sexual.
Yeah, this show is insane. It's almost like it's, just made by sexual beings. That's all they think about.
Two preverts, I guess. Two perverts. But, we're going to have to figure something out about DG. That was a humiliating exchange. And honestly, I don't know if he's safe to be around anymore.
Well, he's definitely not safe to be around, but, I don't know what would help him at this point. I mean, I didn't really feel like he had an alcohol problem before this, but seems like he does now. I mean, I've never seen him like that.
I have never either. And that Mira pose, she seems like bad news. She was cheering him on when he drank all that bushwhacker.
She definitely is bad news. There's no doubt about it.
We got to get a hold of this island because I don't trust what's going on anymore. And, I'm starting to think Sheriff Erdington might have been right. I think something's going on here. They're trying to kill us. Somebody's trying to fuck with us.
You want to enact martial law?
Can we enact, Lucy law?
Like everybody does acid?
I don't know. I just, Marshall Sanderson.
Fine, name it whatever you want to name it, Clark. That's fine. As long as it actually is just martial law.
It'll be martial law, but we'll just, we'll call it something else. We'll call it the Safe Act.
Let's make them safe. Bring out the tanks, baby.
Make Goat Island safe again!
Hello and welcome to MOATAIF, folks. We're back, and we are back with yet another disaster. Now, I kind of debriefed RJ a little bit that this one's not as in depth of a presentation. It's just as in depth of a disaster and disaster report, but no animations, definitely photos, some videos. So it's worth going to, the link in the description of this here on Spotify and checking it out on YouTube if you want to follow along. Typically, in our first presentation for the USS Thresher, it was hosted by James Cameron. And our Tenerife airport disaster, which, by the way, is apparently pronounced Tenerife. So I was.
That makes sense.
I'm an idiot. Tenerife.
Tenerife reminds me of Tannerite.
Yeah.
Or Tannerite, whatever it is.
What is Tannerite? Is it a
explosive?
Oh, okay. Is it a? It's a fucking element.
I think it's a chemical.
Ah, I see. So in this one, after the second one in Tenerife was Andy Hurdle, of course, and this time, though there is no actual in presentation narrator, I the other night I had something happen to me that made me realize that I should be the in presentation narrator with the little pre-show story. And weird things go on in my mind, folks. But the other night, I was laying in bed, and I woke up, and it was like 1 a.m. And last month, I did catch COVID. It wasn't that bad, but and so I was still having a little bit of the effects from that in terms of like not being able to breathe through my nose. It was kind of congested, and I woke up at like maybe 1 a.m. and I felt like I had something in my nose, in my left nostril, and I just got up and I was like blowing my nose, picking my nose. Eventually I'm like, what? And I just couldn't get it. It was like there was something in there. It felt like to me like a really hard booger that I just could not get out. I just could not get this booger out of my nose. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God. And I was like shining a light in my nose, and it was giving me like real anxiety, like that I couldn't get it. You know what I mean? Whatever it was, like now that I knew there was something that I wanted out of my body and I couldn't get it.
It's like all you can focus on.
Exactly. And so like I was literally, I got at like literally 1:30 in the morning, got out my nose hair trimmer and was like scraping the inside of my nostril.
Oh my God.
To the point where I started bleeding because I was like so like anal. And so, dude, yeah, and I went out into the living room and I sat there and I was like, I couldn't like go to sleep because I would start to relax and I'd be like, oh my God, I can feel it. You know what I mean? I can feel it again. I know it's there. I would keep like touching my nose and feeling it and all this crazy stuff. And so, eventually I just gave up on trying to sleep and started, looking on social media and all that kind of stuff. And then I started looking up, like, nose-picking anxiety. And it is a thing. It's, like, relative to, the same people, picking your eyelashes and eyebrows and that kind of stuff.
Like trichomania.
Exactly. And I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's, like, obviously it has, like, rhino in the name because it has to do with the nasal, the nose.
Rhinolomania.
Yeah, something like that, like rhinophilia or something like that. And it's like, yeah, sometimes, it just is because, like you said, like once you know it's there, you can't get it. And, it can be put on by all kinds of things, stress and things. Anyway, it eventually I was able to get over it, but it did, a couple days later, it started to scab up, and now, earlier today, I, got the scab off, so it feels like my nose is back to normal.
Oh, good. I wonder what it was.
I have no idea, but it was the weirdest thing ever, and the weirdest part was just that I could not shake this anxiety for some reason. It was weird. It was like the weirdest thing ever to have this like bodily anxiety, not like just, oh my God, That's
what most of my anxiety is over. That's like most of my anxiety is.
That's crazy. Like how does it manifest for you?
I'm just like, am I okay?
Oh yeah, you do.
Like,
yeah.
Like I will just stand up and I'll be like dizzy kinda. And like when I'm not anxious, it's just like, oh, everybody just kind of gets a little dizzy when they like stand up too quick.
Right.
But if I'm feeling like that, I'm like, oh, I'm spinning like really like, oh, what's going on with me? I think there might be something going on with me. I don't know.
I see.
And then at certain points, it's like all I can think about, and then I just make my symptoms worse, and it's like a cycle.
I do. Yeah. At first I couldn't like. Obviously, I'm not in your head, but at first I couldn't, like, place what you meant by that. But as soon as you started describing it, I'm like, yeah, that really does describe you.
Yeah.
You do. I don't want to say a hypochondriac, but there are times where that...
Oh, absolutely. I kind of am.
It's never a bad thing, but there are times when it's like, no, like, you're all right. There were, like... When you got, like, really, really drunk that night, and you're like, I think you need to take me to the ER. And I'm like, yeah, you're fine. You're just drunk.
That was the first time I ever... No, I really probably should have been taken to the ER.
You really think?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you made it through the night.
No, I still think back on that. That was truly, to this day, the drunkest I've ever been. I had no control of myself or my body or anything. I didn't feel anything. And I felt it getting stronger and stronger and stronger.
Fuck.
I mean, you were there. I could barely control myself.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah, it was a bad time.
Yeah, I mean, I was literally just like flailing my bodysuit around. Like that's the only thing
yeah.
I could do, is just kind of like loosely flail.
Yeah, it was bad. We both threw up that night. You from the alcohol, me from the smell of the puke.
It happens.
You know, what can you do? Ew.
I don't even know what brought that on.
That part has little to nothing to do with today's disaster, but the booger part does. And my God, you know, I gotta say, before we even begin, I'm sorry for that analogy, because that's truly when I explain what happened, like comparing what happened to a booger in my nose is offensive. So like, I didn't, you know, it's just a joke, but my God, it is offensive.
Okay.
Because today we are talking about the Nutty Putty Cave Incident.
What? Nutty
Yes. Yes. Spooky times at the Nutty Putty Cave. It's a hydrothermal cave in Utah. Utah County specifically, but that doesn't mean anything to me. And it was discovered in 1960 by a man named Dale Green. He and his wife were driving out in the wilderness, and you know, they pulled over because they saw the rock formations, and they're like, it looked like a cave. And it's scary to think about. They just went ahead and just climbed in and started exploring.
You know, I'm pretty sure just last week I watched a video about this, but I'm not sure if it's the same one.
Yeah,
but it was a hidden cave that was considered, you know, it was like kind of behind like this like rock formation. Nobody even knew it was there. It just kind of became like a local attraction.
Oh yeah, it might be. We'll see as we go through. You know, because this. But the thing is, this was very popular with spelunkers and ended up having up to 5,000 annual visitors, which I mean still might be.
Oh, this wasn't the same thing.
Okay,
then.
well, you know, and it still might end up being like. It's probably very similar, especially because, you know, this does have some similarities to like 127 hours. You know, I was teasing you. You know, we were talking about it beforehand, and I wasn't like coming out and just saying what obviously it was going to be. But It did seem like 127 hours, but it is not. But this place, the Nutty Putty Cave, was renowned because it's very narrow. All of the passageways are narrow, but they lead to some really cool things. And even though it's like a difficult cave, even though these tunnels are very tight and like you can't walk through most of this cave, this is like a crawling cave.
Jeez.
And despite that, it's still.
I'm already scared.
I know, dude. It's really claustrophobic. There are only a few places in the whole thing where you could actually like stand up. Otherwise, you're crawling through this whole thing. And no thank you. I mean, at least when you go to the Ohio Caverns, you can literally walk through the whole thing. But there are those areas, you know, that always scared me even then when you're walking around that would just, like, go off and you're like, well, what's back there? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and that, yeah, it's spooky. It's scary. But you could, and there are all these, like, little areas. And it's like you'd have to crawl through there. No, I don't care what the fuck. I don't care what the fuck is on the other side of the tunnel. I am never crawling through a cave. Period.
I won't either. I've heard too many stories go wrong.
And here's another one right here. And so after being discovered in 1960, it started to get really popular. And by 2005, that was when they had up to 5,000 annual visitors who would come through and explore the Nutty Putty Cave system. So here's some photos. This is not...
No.
Yeah, literally, dude. Yeah, literally. Now,
no.
This is not related to the incident, but these are photos of the Dye family expedition into the Nutty Putty Caves in 2003.
How did you find these?
These are really scary images, honestly. So when I was doing research for this, I used the Wayback Machine and access. It was because it was linked on Wikipedia, on the Nutty Putty Cave Wikipedia.
The Dye family expedition was?
No, it linked to the Wayback Machine. It linked to the archived a version of the Nutty Putty website.
Oh, okay.
And there they had photos. You could submit photos to the website.
Oh, so we should not really be seeing these?
Yeah, literally. These are like buried in the internet. It's great that the Wayback Machine had like taken images of them at all.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy. But it actually was a really fully functioning website still, surprisingly. All the links worked. I mean, it's a dead website now. Spoilers, foreshadowing. It's a dead website now.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could kind of guess that.
Yeah, but as you can see, if you're not following along with the presentation on YouTube, there are photos of a man on the left here literally crawling through an area that is so tight that it makes me puke when looking at it.
I'm too fat to crawl through there. That's how tight this area is.
I think there would literally be places where people, there are places that people would literally be too big to go through.
Yeah, like a lot of people.
Yeah, this is not meant for people of really any size. In this other photo, it's the same guy up here. This is going through one of the tightest canals, and it makes me want to puke. There's a little bit more room there, but it's freaky. And this young lady here smiling between a tight rock fixture. She's coming out of a tunnel there into this bigger room, and I just can't even imagine how small that tunnel would be if that's the entrance.
She looks like she's having a blast, though.
To me, no. There's nothing about this that would be fun or cool. But
I agree, but she looks like she's having fun.
Yeah. Spelunking must be fun, and look, this was a great a great tourist attraction, and even though it was, I forgot to finish my thought earlier. Even though it was a hard, a difficult terrain, it was considered starter friendly because for some reason this was considered starter friendly, even though this is what it looks like.
Yeah.
This is not starter friendly to me. This looks...
I would never want to start out in a cave like this.
No. This looks advanced. Advanced caving to me. Advanced spelunking. This was meant for... if I was a conspiracy... Maybe not even a conspiracy theorist. This would just be some big-ass fucking prehistoric beetle crawling through the earth, just barely making a tunnel, and now this guy's fucking crawling through it.
Right.
So besides being known for the challenging tunnels, which I'm sure are exciting for spelunkers anyway, even if there weren't cool things to see, the Nutty Putty Caves also had unique attractions, natural forming attractions, such as the Big Slide, which was a room that once you crawled through a tight tunnel and you got to it, it was slanted at a 45-degree angle down and was usually wet enough that you could slide down.
Interesting.
Which, that does seem kind of fun. I guess. There was also the maze, which was just a confusing, mixture of two different cave systems that guests could, explore their way through and try to find their way through. Does not sound fun to me, getting lost in a cave.
No.
And the birthing canal, I guess it's just the birth canal, but is a very, 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 very tight, as the name implies, a tunnel that was an attraction to crawl through. And the Nutty Putty Cave overall had a recorded depth of 145 feet into the earth, and was 1,355 feet from end to end, just for an idea of the scale there. And so here is a photo. This is also the Dye family expedition, and here they are in the Big Slide. It's still a pretty small cave, but one of the areas definitely where you could stand up. And you can sort of see they're sitting on their butts scooting down, so it doesn't look like they're sliding today with any moisture, but they're sliding down on their butts.
That man looks miserable in the middle.
He does, and honest to God, he's kind of big, and so is Brett Hensley in the front. And I don't know if they're, I can see how USA in the back is making it through the tunnels, but how the fuck did Brett and her father make it through that
Maybe
tunnel?
That's why it's beginner-friendly.
I guess so, yeah. It must be bigger. I'm kind of surprised. That guy kind of looks a little skinnier than my dad. And, hey, if he could fit through there, maybe it's not so bad.
Right.
But here on this next slide is the birthing tunnel. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Truly, most of the time you're army crawling through this enclosure, which literally has maybe maybe an inch or 2 inch, like as you're crawling through it, like clearance. Disgusting. I mean,
Yeah, that looks very uncomfortable.
no. I would not ever be able to do that, no matter what was on the other side. I mean, nothing could draw me into this. I would not be able to do it. No way. If I was in Vietnam, I wouldn't be able to crawl into a foxhole. I would not be able to be an atheist in the foxhole. I just couldn't do it. I would not be able to be in this cave. It even scared me to think about all in those, when we went to the Ohio caverns, it scared me to think about those people discovering that cave because it was long enough ago that they were like being lit by lanterns, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like and walking with complete unobstruction in this cave would have seemed terrifying then, let alone crawling through it. Disgusting. These people are disgusting. But more power to them, I guess. It wasn't all dandy, though. The Nutty Putty Caves were a popular attraction for local Boy Scout troops from Utah. You get to use all your skills when you go spelunking and you're a Boy Scout. And before 2009, there were 4 separate occasions where rescuers had to be called for trapped Boy Scouts, and I guess also just some other people. July 29th, 1999 was apparently the first time in 39 years that somebody got stuck, I guess. No recorded
That's
people.
Pretty good.
Yeah, at least nobody got recorded stuck between 1960 and 1999, but then 2 17-year-olds named Chris got stuck in July of 99, and 2 13-year-old Boy Scouts in March of 2001. Some young man named Brock in August of 2004, and a 23-year-old man in September 4th, in 2004. But none of these ended in anything other than a rescue. But after that many occasions, they decided to close the caves for a few years. So actually, it was really only 1 year. They closed the caves from 2006 to 2007. And then eventually a new management team came in. They put some gates in some of the more dangerous sections, as you can see here. There's this gate donated and managed by somebody, because clearly this must be an area where multiple people were getting stuck.
Right.
They also employed a system of reservations because at the time, I guess, people could just come and go as they pleased. Now they wanted to make sure that people were booking time slots in advance, so at least rescuers knew that at least there were people that knew that, hey, somebody's down in the caves today.
They don't come back, call for help.
Yeah, exactly. And, those all seem like great safety measures. But true tragedy will strike, and did strike. On November 24th, 2009, just before Thanksgiving, John Jones and his family went on an expedition of Nutty Putty Cave. Now, they were semi-experienced spelunkers. John and his brother used to go with their father spelunking, and they hadn't done it in a few years, but they figured, we're all together, it's Thanksgiving, we live close to the Nutty Putty Caves, let's, quote, rekindle our love of caving, is what John's brother had said afterwards of the event. They were going to try to rekindle their love of caving. So John, his brother Josh, and a group of 7 others, which included, family and friends, they actually entered the cave system and didn't have any trouble for a while. They enjoyed the big slide and made it down to some of the tunnels further down. And that's when a smaller group of 4, including John and Josh, decided to attempt the birth canal.
Oh, no.
Yes, and that would be a truly tragic decision. Now, this is for reference, I know I showed a photo, but this is a 6 times, somebody crawling through the birth canal at 6 times speed, just so you get a kind of idea of what they were trying to crawl through. So that should be starting to play here. Here they're entering the tunnel, the birth canal, and have to hoist themselves up onto this ledge.
This is so small.
I know. It's really, really, really claustrophobically tight. And right now, in this video, this guy is crawling through here with, like, a group of people, too. So, like, his dad is, like, right in front of him with, like, this camera.
Is that who's recording him?
Yeah.
This is so claustrophobic.
I know. Especially,
it is weird, though, that it's, like, the perfect size for a human.
Right, it is really weird. Ugh. And it gets really tight. I mean,
so do you have to come back through the birthing canal to get back there?
Yeah, once you start, you have to, I mean, either wiggle your way back or crawl.
I mean, like, does
through.
it lead to a room that connects to the rest of the cave, or do you have to go back there to get back to the original room?
I think you have to go back through the birthing canal. Because, I think you have to end up, there. You go through, there's, like, a few more things past the birthing canal that you can, like, look through, or whatever, explore, but...
So if this is 2 minutes and this is 6 times the speed that took him 12 minutes to crawl through this, that's fucking crazy.
I know. And it gets really tight, and there's, like, curves that you have to pull your body around.
That does look really tight. Oh my god.
Yeah. It's really, really, really claustrophobic.
How the fuck could you breathe?
They come to this curve, and he's got to, like... I watched this video in real time, and he's like, oh, how did I do this? So apparently he's done this before. He's like, I think I had to turn my body, and he's, like, turning himself.
Is he
and
calm?
Then he has to... Yeah, I mean, they're, like, having fun, but the whole time they're like, oh, God, I can't wait to get out of here. Because, I mean, it's fun, but at the same time, once you start, it's like, fuck, now I have to, like, do this whole thing.
Right.
Really freaky stuff, honestly. Let's see here. So that's what they were hoping to get themselves into when they left the next area, once they got through the big slide. The problem was that they ended up going the wrong way. Ooh.
How?
Yeah. So I have a clip here from the same people on the next slide that kind of shows, but in this fork in the road right here, I don't have my mouse. My mouse won't show up on the screen for some reason, but at the fork in the road there, of course, in order to go the way toward the birth canal, they would have had to go right, but somehow they end up going left. I mean, maybe that's their inexperience showing. They weren't familiar with these caves, and they didn't know how to properly identify which direction to go to. There's some, debate on the, in the news and online, discussions as to whether or not, exactly how it happened. But in this next, regardless, in this circle over here in Ed's push is where they ended up going, not towards the birth canal. And I think in this next clip, which is a little longer, because it has some really interesting stuff in it. It's the same people, but it's regular speed. And this shows the area, and I've downloaded it and then edited it just so that I could, just to clarify. But it shows the area where there's this fork in the road, and it's, if you don't know, I mean, I guess you can kind of see how they made the mistake. But let's watch the clip.
Hey.
Pretty tight, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
He's coming out of this little tunnel into this bigger room.
How the fuck did he do it that way?
I know.
Any smaller and you couldn't do it.
Yeah, and there's like racks sitting where you need to be and tunnels where you need to go to get out of stuff, and
it's such a tight hole.
Tight.
You're standing up now.
I'm standing up.
Feels freaking good.
Yeah, it'll be good to get oxygen again.
It's gonna feel so cold.
Yeah.
Okay, we finally got the lantern going. Let's give these people an idea of what's going on in here.
Well, so this is the tunnel that leads to the birth canal.
The flashlight would be better for shining up in the
What's
hole.
behind you, Carson?
And right over here is the tunnel that John and Josh go down.
This light is freaking awesome.
So there's really not that. I mean, they're kind of right next to each other. I mean, the map makes it look bigger than it actually is. It really is just, well, do we go down the left tunnel or do we go down the right tunnel?
Right.
And they should have chose right, but For some reason, they chose left.
Now, what I want to know why wasn't that area blocked off?
Well, because there is Ed's Push is another, I don't know what it is, but Ed's Push was another, formation in there that people, could go explore. It was another area of the cave.
I see.
But they thought they were going toward the birth canal, so because... let's go to the next slide here. I'm getting ahead of myself. So Ed's Push, even though it is something... It doesn't lead anywhere. It leads just to like 3 or 4 different dead ends, but maybe there's some... It must just be fun to be in a cave. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't lead anywhere. But John, in this red circle here, found what he thought was the birth canal, the entrance to the birth canal, but it turned out that he was actually just crawling headfirst through new uncharted area of Ed's Push. Yeah. He just kind of found a hole down there in the cave, assumed that he was on the right path to the birthing canal, and started crawling through it, wiggling through something just as tight, if not tighter, than what we were just watching of the actual birth canal. And after a couple minutes, it started to slope downward. So now, as he was crawling, he was suddenly facing downward as he was crawling, which, obviously is not comfortable. You're starting to pool some blood in your head, and I mean, you're facing upside down, right? But he really thought that he saw, or he knew that this was the birth canal, and I'm going to keep crawling, and it's going to open up, I mean, when you're a spelunker and you're going through these caves, you just have to have faith that this is the right path, and it's going to eventually, you can't lose your cool and be like, oh my god, what the fuck, this is a small little tunnel. You gotta keep crawling, right? I mean, this is the birth canal. So John crawled and wiggled and forced himself into a very, very tight hole. He kept crawling into smaller and smaller crevices, smaller and smaller rocks, pushing through dirt, believing that it would widen soon. And he kept pushing until he couldn't go any longer. He literally wedged himself into a hole that was 10 inches by 18 inches, and he wedged himself in upside down. Now, that hole was comparable to the size of the opening of the front-loading washing machine.
Oh, man.
That he literally, because he thought it was the birthing canal, wedged himself into, except that, of course, this wasn't a perfect circle. And not only that, but John was trapped in the tightest part of that opening. So it was...
What's the rope attached to the...
That'll be revealed in the next slide. There's not many photos because it's like, I mean, you think 2000...
Well, this isn't a photo. This is like...
Well, no, I know.
Those are a weird artistic representation.
There's not too many like graphics or photos because even though, I think of 2009 as a technological era, it's really not, apparently, and there's not as much... there's not as much stuff like that on it. If this happened today, I mean, I would have like Instagram photos of John in here. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'll explain the rope here in a few minutes. Now, so Josh is down there, and suddenly, John's down there, and Josh, his brother, was right behind him. So he's literally crawling right behind his brother, and essentially watches him get stuck. And he tries to pull him back up, but remember, I mean, they're like crawling down a cave. They're down a slope, so he'd have to use all of his might to pull him up, and he tries, but he can only really get him up an inch. So he gets really concerned because he's wedged in there. It's real. I mean, the force of gravity is pushing down on him. And the way, of course, you're crawling, so John has one hand underneath his body, and the other one's stretched forward, obviously trying to pull himself forward. His ankles and feet were free, but they were useless because the way he was trapped, gravity was forcing him down, and he was upside down. So, I mean, there's nothing for him to...
No, I could see how he couldn't get free from that.
Nothing for him to grab onto, and I mean, hey, whatever. So, his brother wiggles himself backwards, which makes me scared. Even more scared than going forward is the thought of trying to turn around in that tight cave, or trying to wiggle myself backwards. How the fuck do you army crawl backwards through something that small? How do you army crawl backwards?
Kind of like do the reverse crawl like babies do.
Ooh, it makes me sick. It makes me sick to think about. Ooh, it makes me sick. Anyway, Josh did it. He wiggled himself out, and he made his way to land, and the group called for help. Susan, now I don't know if this is Susan in the photo, but this is the rescue of, this is a female rescuer, and this is the rescue of John. This is the rescue of John at the Nutty Putty Cave, so it could be Susan, but it is just a woman. But Susan, a local rescue volunteer, is the first one on scene. Now, she's familiar with the cave. She was probably there to rescue the Boy Scouts back in 2005, so she was able to get to John in no time. And this was the only thing that's been at least reported of their conversation. Hi, John. My name is Susie. How's it going? That's Susie. Now imagine she's just seeing his feet. She can't see his face. She's talking to feet, shouting like through rocks. Terrifying. John says, "Hi, Susie. Thanks for coming. I really, really want to get out. John Jones." Ooh, it makes me sad. It's really pitiful. Really sad. And this is the entrance of the Nutty Putty Caves in that photo, by the way. Now, rescuers were stuck with a true conundrum because John was stuck in such a way that it would break his legs if they just flat out pulled him out. And not only that, because of the pressure of gravity, all of the blood pooling in his head, John was really having a hard time breathing and staying conscious. So they finally decided that the best course of action would be to rig up an intricate pulley system to attempt the rescue. Now, it's important to note in this photo, I mean, you can kind of see, you know, John is obviously the man stuck, and then you see the rescuer trying to rig up his, tie the rope around his legs here. Now, you see there's this arch, this, like, piece of rock that they have wrapped the pulley system around. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
That is important to note. Now, I don't know anything. I guess, I mean, I learned simple machines in Miss Berner's class in 2nd grade, but I don't know. I guess I don't know that much about pulleys because I don't see how that would be beneficial in this diagram. How the hell that would be beneficial to, you know, loop it around that way, but whatever. That's what they decided. There was this stone arch that they referred to it as, that they looped one of the last edges around to get another fulcrum point on the pulley. But there's this other part right here on this article to the side here that shows a cross section of where John was cut, at least a diagram of it, and how he had managed to get his body stuck but his feet clear, and how he really, I mean, they wouldn't be able to pull him out without breaking his legs, which is truly tragic. The man's stuck. So
they're planning on just breaking his legs.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna have to. I mean, they're gonna have to break his legs, but they're gonna try to do it as gently as they can, I guess. It's truly, sickening. Here is a photo of one of the rescuers drilling one of the points that they would be, chaining the rescue line through. And you can see how, you know, this would be a really, you know, no matter how many people are up on land, nobody else can really get down here to be working on this. I mean, he can hardly even operate that drill because there's not enough arm space to even, like, it is tight there. And this was really, they tried. I mean, they really did put up a valiant effort here. So the main limitation, of course, as I said, was that only one person could get inside the tunnel at a time to work on the pulleys or even talk to John.
10 hours?
Yeah, it took 10 hours to install. So at this point, you know, he's been stuck for a long, long time. And understandably, he was, he was trying to remain calm. You're being rescued, but obviously it's also very agitating because this is a very uncomfortable situation and scary situation to be in. So at one point, they actually lowered a radio down, and John was able to speak with his pregnant wife, who was at the cave's entrance. Now, of course, they were both very agitated and upset, but they did comfort each other, which is nice, but also truly tragic to think about. They already had one child together, and this would be number 2. And, it's like 2 days, maybe the day before Thanksgiving, and her 26-year-old husband is stuck in a cave for now, over 10 hours. But it's good that they at least were able to have any sort of contact at all with him being in a cave.
Right.
So after 19 hours total trapped upside down, the pulley system was completed. You can see it in operation here. Now, rescuers worked to hoist John back through the narrow passage, but obviously they were breaking his legs, so doing so was extremely painful. And not only that, but the effects of being upside down for an extended period of time are extremely serious. And I was in one of the videos I was watching, one of the doctors said that prolonged exposure being upside down can lead to blindness. All of the pressure in the eyes can lead to blindness.
I think I've heard that.
It's all of the blood has left his legs, so his legs are completely numb but yet still extremely painful. When your leg falls asleep, it hurts like a motherfuck.
Yeah.
But that's just it. I mean, that's just the only way it's existed for 19 hours. So he was, extremely, extremely in pain. Not to make him relive it in the spirit world, but this was an extremely painful experience, despite seeming they hooked him up to a pulley and pulled him out. Yeah, that should work. Well, he was successfully raised 10 feet out of the crevice, and he was actually able to be eye level with his rescuer, and he was in good spirits. He was being pulled out of the crevice. He's 10 feet out of the crevice. And he obviously, suddenly, he's going to be out. He's got the promise of freedom. He's going to be breathing fresh oxygen. He's going to get medical attention because he's broken his legs, and he's going to see his family, his friend. He's not going to die. He's been rescued. Everyone, including John, was feeling way more optimistic than they originally had about his survival. But that's when the stone arch from earlier broke.
Oh, no.
It wasn't meant to hold the weight of a human, I guess, and it broke and shattered, and the pulley system completely snapped. A nearby bolt in the pulley system hit the rescuer in the face, which knocked him unconscious. And when he woke up a few minutes later, all he could see around him was dust and rocks. That's when he oriented himself and realized, I'm in this cave. The thing must have snapped. And he realized that John had actually fallen headfirst back into the crevice, all 10 feet.
That man is dead.
Yeah, all 10 feet back down. Yeah. So, the rescuer himself at that point had to be rescued and whisked away for medical attention after getting cracked in the face and knocked out.
Yeah.
Another rescuer wiggled down into the cave and tried to speak to John, but he
was still alive.
They didn't get any response, but they heard that his breathing was labored, which is, I'm thinking is it agonal breath,
yeah,
or the death rattle? No, I don't. I heard Alicia Lee's death rattle, and it haunts me if I think about it. They attempted to tie a rope around his waist to try to rescue him, but then that person that was down there trying to tie the rope around his waist, that person got stuck, and they had to be rescued.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so this is a devastatingly tight cave. That can't be stressed enough. Now, a doctor with some spelunking experience was escorted into the cave, and they assessed John the best that he could. And yes, John was pronounced dead in the cave at midnight on November 25th.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And, you can't say for lack of trying, it's not like...
No, two people, one guy got probably brain injuries from getting knocked out, or, brain trauma. Head trauma,
It's truly, and to have all these hundreds of people, I don't think hundreds, but tens of people, tens of rescuers, and all of his family that had been there, and his, pregnant wife, and all these people are there, and yet they still can't get him out. It's almost worse than if he had just gotten trapped, nobody knew about it, and it's almost worse that so many people were there, and yet they still couldn't do anything to successfully save him.
Yeah, I'm definitely never going spelunking.
No. And trigger warning, that's John. You can't tell that he's dead, but that he is dead.
He looks like he's dead.
Yeah, that's a dead man. So trigger warning. Next step, is it too triggering, or do you want to look at it longer?
No, I don't care about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you can kind of get a better idea of how he was stuck. Now, it's from this position you can't quite tell, but this is looking down. Because remember, this whole time he's upside down, and my God, what a painful fall from 10 feet to fall headfirst into this tight little crevice. And how sad to look at that and think that he thought that this was the birth canal. And literally crawled to his death. Truly tragic.
That's fucked up. That's really fucked up.
Now, it was determined that any efforts to get his body out of the cave would be way too dangerous. So his body was left inside the cave. Now, within a couple days, immediately the cave was closed. They immediately barred it off with wood. The owner of the cave system was so devastated by the news that somebody died in the caves that they actually wanted to dynamite them and completely destroy them so nobody would even want to try to go in them. And instead, the landowner and the family came to an agreement, and since it was his final resting place, they didn't want all of it to be blown up, so parts of it were dynamited, and otherwise, the Nutty Putty Caves were permanently closed and physically sealed with cement less than a week later.
Oh my God.
Yeah, in December of 2009. So here is a photo of the plaque that was put on the cement to honor John Jones, as this is, his final resting place. And it reads, on November 25th, 2009, our beloved John passed away at this site. He was a loving father, a kind husband, a loyal son, and a true and cherished friend. Those who knew John best will remember his faith and his caring heart. Thank you, John, for showing us how to make eternity our covering and our rock and our salvation as we journey here on earth. We miss you and love you always. And his dates, 1983 to 2009, he was 26.
Damn, our age.
Yeah, it was scary to think about, truly scary to think about. So definitely MOATAIF honors, the memory of John Edward Jones.
Right.
But this was not the end of the story. It's the end of John's story, but this was not met without controversy, however, because, like I said...
Are you kidding?
The caves were a popular destination, 5,000 people a year. So spelunking groups on Facebook actually petitioned to save the cave, but they failed. And in fact, members of John's family actually received death threats following the cave's closure.
Jesus.
And I listen, I don't agree with their decision at all. I think it would be scary. It's scary to think about leaving the cave open and then hey, a couple tunnels over there's a dead body. That's just creepy. No, I don't agree with them, but I do understand, a lot of their complaints were, well, one, this is it's you kind of know the risk if you're a spelunker, you might die, right? Does the cave really have to be closed because one spelunker died? It's a moral gray area. Should they have?
No, this is not even on the same scale. Well, it kind of is, because if we knew all the details, it probably could be a MOATAIF story. But I used to swim in Buck Creek with Caleb all the time, and there's a spot by his house where you could walk down by this bridge, and there's a rope swing, and it was right after they installed those new rapids, before the rapids were even open. And so we would just swim in there. We would get on the rope swing, and then you could swim over, go down the rapids. It was fun.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, and then some kid named Rocky Stone drowned in it, and then they closed it down. They heavily monitored it. You couldn't swim there anymore. And I was pissed as a teenager. A young teen, I was pissed at Rocky Stone for ruining that for us.
Right. I totally get it. It's a somewhat immature response, but I can understand.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
I can understand why they
his fucking thing.
Yeah, exactly. As recently as April 4th, 2018, 9 whole years later, John's memorial plaque was reported that it was shot and vandalized. Now, who knows?
Maybe he was just a shitty guy.
I mean, this might not have been related to the cave. I mean, somebody just might have been out in the wilderness, found a plaque, and decided to shoot their gun
I'm gonna
at
shoot it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, target practice. You know, I don't. It could be because somebody's mad about the fact that they can't get in the caves anymore. But I mean, that would be kind of crazy. A whole 9 years later, but people were. I mean, in one of the reports I read from the local paper. It was like people are saying, that he had asked them, he's like, do you think you could still get into the caves now? And they were like, no, because they had heard that parts of it were, destroyed with dynamite. And of course, the rest of it is sealed off with cement. So the locals, at least, have all accepted that this is gone now. It's kind of sad to think about, but like if somebody died in the Ohio caverns, I would want them to close it too, probably, because I don't want to die at the Ohio caverns.
Probably. I don't want them to blow it up. Like, just put some wood over it, forget about it, and maybe like 100 years from now, somebody will stumble across it, or 500 years from now.
Right.
And then they'll just find a skeleton and it'll kind of be like the catacomb.
Yeah, exactly.
Just an interesting spot where you can go find dead bodies.
Exactly. Now, the legacy. Now, roughly 2 weeks after John's tragic death, parts of the caves were exploded and sealed with cement in 2009. And then in 2016... a feature film was made, The Last Descent, which, was based on the story, but, it was released to mixed reviews. I had wanted to see it before I ended up doing this disaster, but when it had mixed reviews, I was like, I don't know if I want to, I don't know, but I'll watch it someday, because it might, have some claustrophobic scenes there. And that is the end of at least, that part of the, discussion, at least of the PowerPoint. Yeah, that, I think, especially, it's crazy to think about, like, as he's crawling, like, and especially knowing that it became his final resting place, like, he buried himself.
Yeah.
He literally put himself in his final resting place and buried himself.
I think what triggers me more is the fact of him being 10 feet up and just falling directly on his head in a cave.
Yeah, I mean, that is, yeah.
And still being alive.
At least enough to die minutes later, which means he probably suffered even more.
Yeah.
And they already talked about how much pressure would be building in his head by having been upside down for 19 hours.
Oh, it's probably
all the
gruesome.
Blood pooling right there, and then you fall on that.
Gruesome, absolutely. I bet it's cold down there and it doesn't like dissolve as quick too. Probably still brain splattered.
Oh God. Oh, you're probably right. And it's so creepy to just think that his body they just left it there. I mean, what else can you do? I mean, it's kind of like, anybody that dies in a disaster. I mean, all the people that died in the Thresher are, still down there with the Thresher.
Yeah.
But it's just creepy to think that, like, his body is just there in the cave. It was never buried. It was, but not conventionally.
It's weird to think you're driving past Utah and you could just look into it. You're like, oh, there's a man in that rock right there.
Mm-hmm. And for all the times that it happens and they get a plaque, like how many times does nobody know about it and there's no plaque? And then how many times are people exploring caves and coming across dead bodies? Ew, it's creepy.
Right. I've heard lots of stories about people dying in caves and shit. Most of the time they're not left in there though. Right.
They at least are able to bring them out. But one of the things, someday I might talk about some Mount Everest disasters, some foreshadowing, but a lot of the people that die on Mount Everest, of course, are left, which is, how I stumbled across it, because, I mean, you can see photos of these famous corpses.
I've seen them, yeah.
Yeah, it's creepy. It's just weird to think, it's like, that is a dead body.
Apparently there's some big project going on now to get all the dead bodies off Everest. The Sherpas are really trying to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some that I've heard that there was one person, I can't remember. I mean, if we ever discuss it in detail, I do know I have more details, but I remember there was one person who was, a
it ended up, their body ended up being like somewhat of a morbid tourist attraction on the island, or on the Everest. And then it became more dangerous.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mile marker almost. You're like, oh, there he is.
Yeah, exactly. And so what they did, according to this, was literally take him and throw him further down into a part where you just can't see him. Yeah, I'm like, oh my God. They're like, yeah, I can't remember where I was reading that, but it was like, yeah, and then in 2000, whatever year it was, people started reporting that the body had been moved or maybe eaten, and then XYZ authorities stated that they did this with it and threw it further. And I'm like, oh my God. As a safety mechanism, sure, I get it, but my God.
Don't trip on the dead body.
There was one photo that I forgot to include, and I'm going to include it in the video, but I'm also sending it to you here on Skype. There was an official Nutty Putty bat, weather bat, like Beanie Baby thing that was advertised on their website. That, you know, you could support the Nutty Putty Cave and the International Bat Conservancy if you bought this, what they call Nutty the Weather Bat, which I just thought was cute. And I was going to include it in the presentation, but I forgot.
I wonder how much that's going for on eBay.
I don't know. It better exist. It's really strange to think about, you know, you think about discovering a cave, but then you don't think about sealing it up and pretending it doesn't exist anymore. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird that we know it's there and we just, like, we don't access it. We're just not going to access it, and we blew up part of it. So really part of it's just a bigger cave. Probably safe to explore. Probably safer to explore if it's a little bigger. Alright, folks. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of MOATAIF. Hopefully y'all ain't too triggered or too claustrophobic. And, folks, if anything, you better not go spelunking. I mean, if you go spelunking, only go in caves where you can fucking walk through. I mean, that seems like fucking common sense. But apparently not. So don't get a thrill doing that. Do not get a thrill doing that. Get a thrill doing something else. Do an improv podcast with your best friend once a week, but don't crawl through a fucking cave to get your thrills, folks. Don't do it. And until next time, stay moat.
Death to every fucking Republican.